Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to LP Tremors, where we talk all things vinyl and horror. And myself, Davy Gallagher, and Ryan Gavalier are back at you with the third episode and third movie of the Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. So, so this is arguably probably the one of the most controversial out of the whole Friday the 13th series, or at least it's one of them. There's definitely a lot more later on, but this is definitely the start of the controversial. There, you can talk to some people that say that hail this as the best Friday the 13th, and you can talk to somebody else who maybe this is down the shitter. So it's really a mixed bag for a lot of people, and definitely the most controversial. Well, not the most controversial, one of the most controversial in the franchise. So yeah, there we go. And I should say it is the birth of the iconic hockey mask. Right here, started all right here. Sackhead Jason is no more. Richard Brooker is the start of the hockey mask iconic Jason. So there you go. Friday the 13th, 3D, all three of our reviews. And let's do this. So, Davey, want to kick us off?
Sure. So, as was mentioned, Friday Part 3 released around about the same time as a certain Jaws 3D, where the 3D fad came in, and all these movies were trying to capitalize on it. Once it happens about every 25 years, some smart arse gets the idea that 3D is going to be the thing again, and it never is for more than 10 minutes. It never is.
No.
But we'll deal with that in 2032 when it comes back around again. So you can tell straight away this has to be a gimmicky movie, because when you add 3D onto something, probably not going to be as gritty and dark as Friday Part 2 was, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
And what I quite like about this is I actually have a bit of more of appreciation for it than I used to for this one. What I quite like about it, Steve Miner comes back to direct, so we don't have a director shift. But I think he's recognized, okay, if you want to do 3D, it has to be a bit more schlocky. And that to me is in there straight away from the music. The same composer who does all the music for the classic Rum, what's his name again? Oh goodness, Henry Manfredini, is that his name? Henry Manfred Mann. So Manfred Mann does he doesn't, but Henry Manfredini does the music, and he comes up with a much more 1950s almost B-movie like theme tune for this one, whereas we had a grim theme for the first two to go along with the movie. And this film to me is quite aware that it's where we have to be a bit more silly now. If we are milking this one more time, we need to, because they kept thinking this was the last throw of the dice, and then they would always just get the green light for another. And this to me is the birth of where the franchise says, we better embrace being a bit silly, because and the moment I think that happens, there's always a moment where you can say jump the shark if you want to be that way about it, but the moment that a franchise recognizes that it has to make a change like that, sometimes pivots on an absolute one instance, and to me it is the moment where our pregnant girl is lying in bed, the hammock I should say, and she is reading Fangoria, of all things. So for the first time, Friday is now saying, we're in a horror movie and we're reading about horror movies. We know what this is, because Jason would be on the cover of Fangoria. It's exactly the kind of thing they'd be covering. It's and she flips to an article celebrating the 25th anniversary of Godzilla, and it's got the coverage of Godzilla versus Megalon. So it's really celebrating the fact, hey, we know we're a kind of schlocky horror now, the schlocky horror picture show, if you will. So what it's doing is kind of celebrating that and taking some of the tropes and having a bit more fun with them this time, I think. So we do things like Shelley, who's by far my favorite character in this, by the way. Just putting it this way, Shelley is my absolute favorite character because he's possibly the worst character, act-wise. But there's something so charming about that guy. Plus, he looks like if Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel had a baby, it would be Shelley. What's going on with that? He's got Paul Simon's
right.
little dog face, but he's got Art Garfunkel's hair.
You're right.
There's something weird about Shelley. But he's doing that, and we've seen them a couple of times. There has to be a prankster in the movie. But for the first time, we're saying, yeah, and it's kind of pathetic that he thinks he has to be that, that he thinks he has to keep coming up with these, he apologizes for being himself when he takes the, where's my date? It's me. I'm sorry. He's such a hangdog. He's such a little lost pup. But this, again, it goes through all the classic tropes. We get a bunch of teens. We get them going up there. We even get a stand-in for Crazy Ralph. Crazy Ralph has got a crazy cousin, Ralph Mouth. Yeah. So this guy is taking, they've obviously decided, we shouldn't have killed off Crazy Ralph. So there's a new crazy in town. The deputy crazy is taking over. And he's sleeping in the middle of the road. Yes. And, he gets the eyeball. Yeah. And to me, this is a celebration of throwback to the kind of movies that Steve Miner would have watched when he was growing up, where they were doing these William Castle kind of horror spectaculars just to have fun at the movies. Yeah. So everything that he's saying, okay, I have to come up with something to do in 3D. What can I do? Popcorn in 3D, 3D popcorn, 3D yo-yo, 3D fruits when, the juggling. It is perhaps the most disposable bunch we've had so far in terms of the ensemble. I don't think any of them are particularly fascinating in the way that Ginny was. I don't think that any of them have any of the great characteristics. Again, I like Shelley, but it's almost just because he's so like, what is this guy? Like, he's such a weird guy. He does have that great scene with the bikers and the little shop. And we've got some bizarre stuff like the opening 10 minutes where we get this really redneck couple. This is supposed to be set up not far from your neck of the woods, Tyler, isn't it? It's supposed to be more up that kind of way. Yeah. Up in the Northeast. This couple seem to have emigrated from the deepest, darkest recesses of the South. You better get yourself in here. And, they're doing all that kind of stuff. And when you see that actress, she's quite clearly about 25 years younger than the character is supposed to be. She's supposed to be a middle-aged wife and mourning husband. And they're so horrible and sleazy, and he's just drinking the bottles that he's selling in a little shop. And horrible couple, but funny. Again, it's kind of having a laugh straight from the outset. And I think this film, it's as if Steve Miner says, we can't do this movie seriously. If you want it to be in 3D, we need to do a schlocky 50s throwback kind of thing and almost rip the piss out of how you do a 3D movie. Just like SCTV did with John Candy's character would have a character who would say in 3D, and then he would just hold whatever was next to him and go, whoa. It's exactly that kind of nothing in here until Jason turns up big time towards the end feels like a particularly necessary 3D. It's like Steve's just having a laugh with 3D. And you do get Jason coming at you in 3D. You do get the machete in 3D and whatnot, and that's fun. I like that tiny, bizarre little bit of continuity that Jason gets the slash through the mask in this one. Yeah. And for some reason, that stays in every single Jason. And I don't know why that is. My theory is that you can't trademark the hockey mask because it was a pre-existing piece of merch. But if you have the slash in it, you can call it an official Friday the 13th one. I think that's probably some kind of boring legal reason why they keep the slash throughout all the movies. Because every time you see Jason, even in Jason X in the remake, he's got that gash where he
still has that gash, yeah.
Where that, even when he's resurrected and stuff, he's still got that.
Right.
So it's a fun little outlet. It does the same kind of stuff over again. We had the Woodstock couple last time. Boy, do we have an even more Woodstock couple this time. Cheech Marin's playing one of them. It's absolutely. Some of the age groups of these people is like, come on now, you're not even trying to pretend these people are young. It's just this
God, no.
guy's
Dude, that guy's probably like 45.
Yeah, he looks at least.
45. He's putting his
Yeah.
grandkids through college with this movie. I'm telling you.
Holy shit, yeah.
I had a great time, just almost in a bad movie way though. I won't lie to you and say I think this is a genuinely good film. I had fun looking at it from a historic perspective and saying this is what William Castle would have done if you said to him do a Friday the 13th movie. And he wanted it to do like 13 Ghosts or House and Haunted Hill. This is the kind of weird stuff that he would have done just to try and sell it. Jason is actually quite frightening in places, though. That's the strange thing. He still has some moments where I think, oh, you're wonderful. They're so forgettable. I forget half the names in this one. When the father of the unborn baby, when he's doing the handstand after they do it in the hammock, and he some reason does the handstand even when she's not watching, and Jason takes the machete and goes, balls first. Hello. That is, you'd be dead either way, but for some reason it makes you wince even more that it's balls first. Like, you'd still be gutted either way, but for some reason that's just a bit more horrible. And again, it's just pure schlock. It's just a strange, scuzzy decision that I kind of love. And most of the beats of this film are kind of like that. It takes something that we know from Friday and then says, what can we do with that that's a bit quirky and a bit daft? What can we do that's just a bit sillier here? I don't think it's a particularly good film overall. I don't think it's a particularly good Friday the 13th film overall. Yeah. But it's actually the kind of film that in a slightly different universe, I can imagine being something that Ryan and I would cover on Zero the Hero, because it's got that kind of bad movie quality to it, where you can imagine a percentage of reviewers giving this a 0 would be all of them. I can imagine just about every reviewer saying, no, this is quite a bad movie. I can't imagine too many finding in the 80s a reason to really celebrate it. Now, when we have this kind of culture of good bad movies that people talk about, which personally I don't believe in. I think if a movie's so bad it's good, it's just good anyway. You just like it for a different reason. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think that I could possibly give it bonus points for that kind of strange, bizarre scuzziness. So it is the worst that we've seen so far, despite loving a character like Shelley, loving a few kills. The original idea was that Ginny was going to come back, and she was going to have trained up, and she was going to. Okay, why couldn't we have had that? But,
I wish. I really wish.
Yeah.
I mean, and that would have established hopefully Ginny as like the Laurie Strode or the what's Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, is the Friday character perhaps, which would have been a fascinating universe to see develop. But unfortunately we didn't get that. We're stuck with Shelley and Co. and Cheech Marin and the Woodstock Gang. Crazy Ralph's little brother, and the bizarre moments of just sheer but again, I kind of had fun with it, and it keeps to my rule of that kind of schlock that, hey, if you're still going to be 90 minutes, that's not enough time to piss me off. If it was a 2-hour movie and you've done that and I'm not in on it, then but 90 minutes, I can give you 90 minutes of my time for this. So as a movie, out of 10, I'd probably give it a 4 on my Friday scale. Out of 10, I'm actually going to go a 6. I'm going to be reasonably kinder than I thought it was going to be for this, because again I had such a fun time seeing. Actually, this is the 1950s B movie of Friday the 13th brought up today, just like one we're going to see quite soon is the Universal horror version of Friday brought up today. So and one's going to be the kind of sleazy exploitation porno brought up today. So there's and one's going to be David Cronenberg in space brought up today. But Friday's going to go in so many mental directions, and this is also every single episode we've hit so far has been the first of something, and this is very much the first time that Friday has gone completely off the rails. So again, it's the first time that this has happened. It's also the first time, of course, that we know from the outset Jason's the killer, because it all takes place literally hours after the last movie ended. These kids drive by the end of the last movie, literally at the start of this one. So the two films literally dissect each other.
Yeah.
Wonderfully fun. Jason's obviously a hell of a fitness fanatic because he's bulked up really overnight. And that guy is he's jacked in this. He's got a real stash of steroids in those woods somewhere. But yeah. So yeah, fun time. Would I like them all to be like this? Oh hell no! But am I glad there's one in here that's this kind of crazy throwback mentalness? Yeah, I kind of am, and I didn't think I would be. Because I remembered in my head thinking, no, I don't like anybody in that apart from that weird Art Simon, Paul Garfunkel guy. But yeah, I actually had a good time with it. So there you go.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you, Davey. So, I mean, I can't really argue much with that at all. And you mentioned the Crazy Ralph guy. He kind of reminds me like a little mix between Crazy Ralph and the Hitchhiker in Texas Chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seemed like both those characters came together, and that's what you got.
Yeah.
Decide like crazy, whacked out, like borderline. I mean, obviously psychotic version of the Hitchhiker in Texas Chainsaw, and then
I just like to imagine that he was maybe the bank manager of the town, and he got a call saying, "Crazy Ralph's dead, and we don't have a town crazy anymore." Because remember, Ralph was introduced as the town crazy.
The town crazy, yeah.
Would you be interested in being the new town crazy? It was like, okay, I'll need to work my notice at the bank, but okay, 2 weeks, is that okay? And then that's him sleeping on the road from then on out. But yeah, fun character.
All right, well, thank you, Davey. Ryan, thoughts?
All right, Friday the 13th, Part 3. As I was kind of mentioning to you guys before we start recording, I've gone up and down with this movie over the years. When I was a teenager, I wrote a website called Slasher Movies Uncovered, and then it became Good, the Bad, and the B Movies. So it was all just kinds of horror reviews and B movies. And I remember giving a pretty mediocre to negative review of this movie at the time. Then for a while it became one of my favorite of the series. And I haven't watched what's coming after since I watched this one, so I'm gonna not really say compared to what comes after, but I'm not quite as fond of this movie as I used to be. I'll be completely honest. Okay. I mean, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think there's some good moments in it, but it's also a little hard to keep interested with at times. There's points where I'm just like, I could be doing so many other things right now. And it's like, it is a 90-minute movie, so it's not horribly exhausting to watch. And like I said, there is good moments that save it. But I think that the 3D gimmicks are horrible in this movie. They're just, the fact that they had to make every third movie in a series this time 3D is just stupid. Because I think 3D as a whole is a stupid gimmick. Like it's not even enjoyable. I don't know why it ever became a thing. But like, yeah, so the 3D in this movie is horrible. I mean, you have people like throwing wallets and it's 3D, and
yo-yo
and
the popcorn, the fruit. Yeah. Steve,
the only one
interest in making it work.
The only one that's even like memorable at all is Rick's eye just popping out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If that was the only 3D trick in the movie, I'd be happy with that, because that's the only one that's cool. The rest of it's a waste of my time, and it just makes the movie look overly hokey with the camera work and stuff. Really awkward too, because you could just tell it's a gimmick, especially if you watch it in 2D. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so awkward.
I'm not to interrupt you, but I swear to God, when I watched this the other day, and it was, I think it was before we were prepping for our next Zero vid, and I watched it, and I swear to God, every time a moment came up like that, I literally shouted out 3D every 2 minutes. So it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I loved looking for them. I thought it was fun as hell.
I can appreciate the campiness of it, but honestly, I think it takes away from the enjoyment of the movie how awkward it is at times with that kind of stuff. Character wise, I'm a mixed bag. I don't think that most of the characters are unlikable, but none of them are really likable either. I think Chris is easily the worst final girl we've seen so far. I mean, compared to Alice and Ginny, because Ginny's like top notch. She's better than Laurie Strode. Like I love
absolutely.
Ginny.
Yeah.
But this girl, she's kind of annoying to listen to. She's kind of
Very
high
whiny.
energy, whiny,
Yeah.
high pitched.
Yeah.
Just and then there's the whole thing of the whole implication that maybe Jason raped her. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
There's been no evidence whatsoever that Jason's a sexual being whatsoever. And now you're going to throw that into this movie. And really, it's for no point whatsoever. It's like, that's one of the things that really makes me mad about this movie is that. Because that's just like way too exploitative. Like, oh, Jason rapes teenagers now. Like, I mean, murdering them's not any better, but like, but it just is so out of character for him. And like, also the fact that she survived, it's like that wouldn't actually happen. Like,
God, no.
It's Jason. I mean, he's, beheading boxers and shit. Like, that girl is not going to survive that. Like,
No.
So that makes me mad. And then her ending makes me really mad with her just like hysterically like in the car. It's just like, really, is that the route we're going to go with this? I mean, obviously we show post-traumatic stress disorder for the characters in the other movies.
Yeah.
But they like made it like almost like a caricature of post-traumatic disorder here, and it's just like, it feels really it
cry
feels
and laugh at the same time. That counts.
It feels very bad taste, and like, not that these movies are really good taste, but that irks me. Like, and I don't know why, but that does. It's just, it feels really, really weird to me. But other characters, I think Rick is fine. I mean, we're still kind of in the trope of these kind of creepy older guys kind of grooming these teenage girls. I mean, we're 3 for 3 so far. But I don't know. I guess he's more pleasant than Steve. I'll give him that. But that's setting the bar pretty low. I like Paul more still.
I love Paul,
Rick. Debbie and Andy, so that's pregnant girl, and then handstand Sam. Like, I mean, they're fine.
Yeah.
I think his kill is probably the best kill in this whole movie. And then they went a whole other thing of killing a pregnant woman in this movie.
Why was she pregnant? She doesn't look pregnant. Why did they need to add that? That was an
just wanted,
how is that necessary?
Just wanted to add every sleazy thing they could possibly add into this one. Oh, Jason's a rapist now. We got girl go insane at the end of the movie, and we kill pregnant people. It's like, I don't know, man. But I do like Shelley. He's a funny character. I mean, there is something interesting about him. I mean, that he does feel he needs to be a prankster and stuff. And, what's the girl? Vera? Is that her name? Vera? She kind of tells him, oh, you don't need to do that kind of stuff. I like you for who you are and stuff. And I think that's cool. I mean, you see, he obviously has a crush on her, and she's not reciprocating that.
Right.
But she's very nice to him, and she lets him drive with her to the store and stuff, and you see her just have some real good genuine talks with him. And I also do have to say the scene where his throat is cut and he's actually dead this time. They're like, stop joking, Shelley. And he's just like
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
that was really good.
Even
That
though
was
you haven't seen Jason kill him, but I'd kind of like to see him have the interaction with Jason though. But at the same time, first time viewers, it's kind of like, what's he up to? And oh wait, he's dead.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, and I mean I like the scenes with the bikers. I think that's some of the funnier stuff in the movie. I mean, I think when it goes completely off the rails, that's where I kind of like it. I like the scene where they all eat the weed in the van.
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
the cops are about to pull them over
And
Right
and
past him.
drives by. The couple at the beginning of the movie is okay, and like the store owners and stuff, they're all right. I mean, they're real sleazy and stuff. I don't think they're great. She actually kind of reminds me of they kind of remind me she kind of reminds me of the character, I think it's the mom in the fifth movie, that like weird
Yeah,
like hillbilly
yeah.
mom. They're
The hillbilly
basically the
mom, yeah.
same. They're practically the same person for me. I think she's less annoying in this movie though. But let's see, what else do I like about this movie? Like I said, some of the kills are pretty good. I said the characters are decent in this one. Just
Yeah.
they're not really top notch. I think two, we really see pretty awesome characters, and then one's pretty good with the characters. This one's just they're all shells of
Just bland.
characters.
Yeah.
I think I like the music at the beginning, the crazy like 80s
Yeah.
music and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. I think that's a great opening sequence. Jason's okay in this movie, I'll say. I think he has some good kills, but I honestly, Richard Brooker is not my favorite. I think I can't remember the guy's name who plays him in the second movie.
There were
Um,
two.
guy
There were two
looks-
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't remember. But I think Jason was a lot better in the second movie than he is here. I think he's menacing in this, but also kind of silly at the same time too. And I think it doesn't balance it as well as in the second one, because in the second one he's kind of klutzy and stuff, but he's still terrifying. It feels real. He doesn't feel real to me in this one. I mean, there's that part where he's like, where, you know, I think what is it? They stab his eyes or something, and he's and stuff. It's like,
Do you think
it's okay.
Do you think they could do serious Jason with the studio demanding you have to put in all this 3D gimmickry?
No, and I think that's where this movie failed right off the bat. Is the 3D.
It's a 3D. Yeah.
They already made it a stupid movie by having a stupid gimmick, and I think that. Oh, and then end of the movie we have Pamela Voorhees jump out of the water as a corpse. I'm just like, that feels so redundant to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
like
we have to have like a torn up sweater because remember it's Pamela Voorhees, and it's like that woman really loves sweaters apparently.
yeah, I don't know about that. I didn't like that on this time through. Watched the movie a few times recently. I didn't quite enjoy that. I don't know. I think that overall I still have I have a decent amount of fun with this movie. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but I'd say for a Friday movie, it's a pretty piss poor installment in the series. I could be mistaken. There could be much worse coming forward, but from my memory, I don't really remember too much being much worse than I'm feeling about this one. I don't know. I think that the other ones have a bit more going for them. Adding some little twists in the story and stuff. I think that this one, it's basically still kind of just rehashing the same formulas before, adding some silly stuff in, and then a lot of stupid 3D. So as a movie, I'd have to agree with Davey. I'll probably say a 4.
4. Okay.
As a Friday the 13th movie, though, I'm gonna go a little higher than that and say probably like a 5.5.
Yeah.
Oh, very close.
It's
That's
not one of the better ones this series. I think that there is camp to it. I think it's watchable, but I think there's some stuff that does actually irk me in this one, and that means something. Being it's a Friday the 13th movie, I think there's a
Right.
couple things that maybe go a little too far in it, or just at least leave a bad taste. Whereas the other ones I could watch in good fun.
right. Right.
So I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, some of the stuff that should be 3D isn't. Like, why is the harpoon? Why is the harpoon death not 3D?
Yeah,
Like that is such an obvious bit where you put in. You've literally got a projectile harpoon going through somebody's eye, but that harpoon coming at you is not in 3D.
Right.
exactly.
Right. No, I agree.
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
So, Friday the 13th, Part 3. Obviously, this came out a year after the second movie, in 1982. It was so we had the same director here, Steve Miner, and probably so. This is kind of a weird. This is gonna be a weird review for me because for the longest time, and I've been rewatching this quite consistently since we announced we were going to be doing this little series. I was having a very hard time trying to figure out what I'm going to say for this movie because there's not a whole lot to say here. At times, and as I said before, this came out literally a year later from the second movie. The second was 81. This is obviously 82, and it just feels rushed to me. I feel like there's, like, for example, the hockey mask. What I heard is a studio effects guy had the hockey mask just kind of laying around in the room or whatever. Somebody picked it up and pretty much gave Richard Brooker the mask and said, "Hey, wear this." So why I'm bringing that up? It just seems like a lot of that type of energy came into this movie, just kind of like random spur of the moment kind of type of thing. So it felt very forced and it felt very rushed to me. So I'm gonna start off. I'll start off with my positives for this movie. Ryan, I do get what you're saying, but I have to disagree with you because I actually really like Richard Brooker in this as Jason. I find Richard Brooker to be a very interesting Jason, and I do kind of pick up on that kind of like goofy Jason. And one thing about Richard Brooker that I like that I don't think I've seen in any other Jason is Richard Brooker. He likes to fuck with his victims. He's not literally killing people right off the bat. He's fucking with them too. That third act describes perfectly what I'm talking about. You know, when he's taking off the mask and he's smiling at her. I'm not this dream sequence or not, I'm not sure, but at the end where Chris was laying around paddling on the boat, you see Jason kind of look out smiling and kind of ripping the window. Like that was all really cool to me. Like, and I really like the part where he's just really fucking with Chris and he's fucking with his victims, just kind of having some fun. He's just having a blast. So this is just fun, Jason. I just love watching Richard Brooker as Jason in this. So I think he actually makes this movie. I think he makes this movie very well, and he's probably the reason why I'm going to give it a little bit of a higher rating than you guys, because I just really like Richard Brooker's portrayal as Jason. However, characters. I completely agree with you, Ryan. Chris is fucking annoying. She is so freaking annoying, so whiny. I get it. She has PTSD. She has these flashbacks of Jason raping her, and it's like, I get it. I guess I shouldn't say I get it, but I get the PTSD, but why are you so freaking whiny? It's just not enjoyable to watch at all. and like she's just bitching about everything left and right, and she just annoyed the shit out of me. And towards the final act, I felt like she didn't really do anything very interesting either. I just felt like she was just kind of there, like she's the last survivor, so there you go. We're gonna throw you in as a final girl. So she didn't really bring a lot. She really didn't bring anything to the table, especially in the third act. Honestly, she was very clumsy, if you were to ask me. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of Chris. She's probably one of the least likable characters in this movie. And I'm gonna get to my most hated character in this movie.
If it's Shelley, I'm not coming back for part 4.
Oh my god, I fucking hate Shelley with a I can't stand Shelley. Oh my god. He was more whiny than fucking Chris. I'm sorry. Like he was making these stupid little fucking jokes, and then when he gets caught and when someone calls him out on his bullshit, he's like, oh, nobody likes me. I have to do this. Shut the fuck up, kid. I couldn't stand this freaking idiot. And then I'm gonna give I fucking hate Shelley with a passion. Every time he showed up on camera, I just wanted to I was rolling my eyes. I wanted to shut off the movie right there. I couldn't stand Shelley. Like, and then his kill. It's like, really? So you're gonna have a character that fucking annoying, and give him an off-screen kill? Like his throat is split, and the stoner girlfriend or whatever finds him, and she's like, "Stop fucking around, Shelley, whatever." And then Shelley's like, "That's all we get." Why couldn't we have seen Shelley's kill? I wanted Jason to wreck his shit. Like, God.
Scalp him for the afro, the Art Garfunkel afro. Jason starts wearing it on top of the hockey mask.
Oh my god, that curly-headed fuck! I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand him.
Apologies to the curly people watching. Ryan, I'm sorry about this, my friend. I'm glad you're keeping your hair short these days.
I was thinking of growing it out.
Have you? Okay, there you go.
Am I gonna get called a curly-headed fuck now?
That curly-headed fuck, Ryan.
If you do, it's with affection from Tyler, I'm sure.
No. I can only make fun. I can only call Shelley that. He deserves every friggin' insult there is on the planet. I can't. He's probably the worst character in the whole series. If you were to ask me,
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. That's kind of what I sort of like about his character, is just how annoying he is, because he is a whiny little bitch. I mean, if I knew in real life, I'd probably beat the shit out of him.
Me too.
The reason I love Shelley is because they have 2 parts that they need filled in this.
Yeah.
And he's terrible at both of them. But I love that because he's brilliantly bad. He can't act. This guy has to do the prankster part that we've seen a couple of guys do, and reasonably well. You know, maybe not the best actors, but they've seemed like jokey kind of guys at least. Both of the films have had that, and we've had in the last film our friend in the wheelchair. Unfortunately, went down the stairs, but Shelley also has to have that part of people won't like me because I'm, in his case, Art Garfunkel and Paul Simon's love child, in that case, in the wheelchair. So he thinks that nobody would like him because of that. So, but they try and marry the two, the sad sack and the jokester, and it never works. Yeah. And that's why I really love it, because he instantly goes from I'm crazy to I'm sorry for my existence.
So annoying.
I wouldn't blame you if you never talk to me again.
Yeah.
I hate. He is the most manic character. He's clearly looked up how to be funny in a magazine, Mad Magazine or something,
Yeah.
and figure that that's how you do it to make people like you. And he's actually a terribly depressed and sad individual who
Right.
really just wants a friend. And unfortunately, the actor can't really do either one of these parts very well.
Right.
I just
Right.
kind of love it for it.
Davey, I agree with you, but I have to disagree about Mark in the second movie. I don't think he was a sad sack at all.
Oh no,
I
I'm
don't
not
think he
saying
was a
he's a
sad
sad.
guy,
He
no.
he
I
gets
think-
the most attractive girl in the movie.
Yeah.
He's a pretty
Yeah, but
attractive
comes
dude
into,
himself.
he comes into it saying they won't because of this damn chair. He keeps talking about like, oh, that kind
Oh
of thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he puts
That
himself
makes sense.
down. He puts himself down, and then he's told like, no, we like you for you. It doesn't matter about what. In your case, you're in a wheelchair, and your case, you look like Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel at the same time. It's like some kind of weird Photoshop thing. But there's something that he was likable. He was believable in the chair.
Yeah.
Pranksters have been believable. He was just likable as a character. Anyway, you can see why that girl would find him cute and funny and attractive, and actually just want to hang out with him anyway because he's a nice guy. Shelley, you can imagine being trapped in the woods for 5 minutes and actually saying, I'm going to go out and find Jason and just let him kill me now because I cannot put up with this guy any longer. And I just love Shelley because of his. In this movie, if he was in Friday 2, I would be totally Team Tyler here. I would be like, what's this guy doing? In a movie with 3D popcorn, I am so on board with having a Shelley here. So on board.
And Davey, you do bring up a good point because Shelley does really, as much as I fucking hate Shelley, and he's the worst in the series by far, he does set the tone for what this movie is doing. So he does bring out this just stupid schlocky, whatever you want to call it. He just like he does fit well. If he's gonna be in one movie, it's gonna be the third one.
Yeah,
because that's the only one he'll kind of fit in. But Shelley can go fuck himself. Yeah. I hate him. And then you have the
Corey Feldman would tell him to go away and leave him alone.
Yeah. And then you have like the two motorcycle guys at the convenience store or something. Pick up Shelley, buy the shirt. Hey guys, can I buy you a beer? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. He also looks like all three of the Stooges put together at the same time.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's like he's not one person. He looks like a photo fit. He really does almost always seem like someone has just used an app on Facebook or whatever to like, this is what I'd look like if I was three different celebrities mashed into one.
Yeah.
The Stooges, Simon and Garfunkel, it's all in there, and it gives us the bizarreness that is Shelley. You mentioned and me, Zwarberg. And we get the gas station or whatever it is, the convenience store. And they could only afford one of the bakers to come out. I guess the other two weren't on set that day because the other two just stay indoors while Shelley trashes their bikes. They're not bothered. Only one comes out looking for vengeance.
Yeah. Literally only one guy. Yeah. And that brings me to another negative. Those bikers were, I felt were just unnecessary. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are they doing there? Like, they had no reason in being in this movie at all. Like, I just didn't find their storyline appealing at all. Like, they find these three motorcyclers at this convenience store, and shit goes down in the convenience store, and then Shelley backs up into the bikes. They follow them to the camp, and we see how that plays out. But that is just, why are they there? They were just so unnecessary to me.
Do you know, it's fascinating, and I think Ryan and I obviously doing Zero the Hero. And Ryan's been a B-movie fan as I have for whole cinematic lives. And I know you love B-movies as well, Tyler.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes a movie just crosses so far into schlock that just makes it even funnier to me.
Right.
They set up this big biker gang as if it's going to be the great biker gang from Dawn of the Dead with Tom Savini as their leader. And then they do absolutely nothing when they get there. And that's even funnier than if they were effective to me. Because you can riff on this all day long.
Oh
It is,
yeah, you can.
as I said, it's a zero to hero
Yeah,
movie.
it
just
is.
doesn't have the
It is.
0% to prove it.
It
Dude,
is.
honestly, like when they're like plotting out and like in the grass and stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about to start watching like the end of Battle of the Planet of the Apes when they have the
Battle of the
whole
Planet of the
battle scene, because like they do like the same exact thing. They're all like standing in the yard, like ready for battle, plotting things out. That's what I feel like is about to happen. It's just gonna be
Right.
like these teenagers and then these bikers just fighting to the death, and then Jason's like, wow, an easy day for me.
Right, right.
He just stands and watches.
Exactly. And then and then going to my point with the motorcycle crew, again, they weren't even, I can forgive it if these three characters were interesting. I didn't find anything interesting about any of them. Like they just didn't bring anything to the table. And you have that girl like swinging on the
Oh
what do you
yeah.
call it, the rope. She's like, oh, this feels so good. I'm like, oh god.
Tyler, you were rather good at that.
I'm like, this is bad. This is bad. It's not even enjoyable. It's just cringy.
You seem to be enjoying it.
Oh my god. But then the other characters are just kind of whatever. Like you have Andy, and then what was the pregnant girl's name again?
Debbie, I think.
Debbie, yeah. Debbie and Andy, they were like whatever. They're just kind of there. The stoner couple, they were same thing. They were just kind of there. Like all these characters, they're just kind of like
the pure schlock stuff that I just love. She's reading Fangoria, as I said, because we're in a horror movie and we know it now. She's reading Fangoria, blood drips on it. And what does she say? Where's that coming from? Probably above your head if it's dripping onto the paper. Where do you think it's coming from? Over there? You stupid woman. And
so bad.
And she goes, and she sees Andy, all kind of sausage meat at that point. Oh yeah,
Right.
I am so on board with the terribleness at this point that, I was honestly, there's a lot of comedies that haven't made me laugh as hard as some of the bad filmmaking and bad acting in this.
Oh, me too. And then so the characters are whatever. You have Rick, who's the guy controlling everybody and in charge of everything. He's another he's just there. There's nothing. He's no Paul. Like at least Paul was interesting. In my opinion, he was very likable. This guy who's just bland as hell. Like he's not bland like Steve, like creepy porn star Steve. He's like just kind of whatever. He's just bland, still creepy a little bit, but just
Weird Al
Steve. Yeah,
I think he's very creepy. Actually,
he's very. Yeah, I was probably, but I'm saying like he's still creepy, but he was not like Steve creepy.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, Tyler, because they're making these movies so fast, it will change for the next one because we actually get a family dynamic coming into with Tommy Jarvis and things. And one of my favorite dogs in cinema. But I love that dog. And in the first three, especially 2 to 3, it's almost like they didn't even bother coming up with a new set of characters. They just said, just get me an equivalent of da-da-da. Yeah. So get me the jokester, get me the guy who thinks he can never find love, get me the older guy who's a bit lecherous with the younger ones, get me get me a Woodstock couple.
Right. And then
like they all seem to just be just do that again, yeah, because we have to worry so much about how the hell we're going to fit 3D in when we've only got a few months to make this bloody thing and get out in time for Halloween and blah blah blah. You can just imagine Steve Miner sitting there going, hurry up and tell me to make House Sean Cunningham because I'm much more looking forward to that.
Right.
This is so bad, and I absolutely adore the badness of it.
It's so bad. Yeah, and that's another good point. This movie, like, because I was shitting on this movie a lot because the negatives are just really, really there.
Yeah,
but this movie overall, it falls into the category of so bad that it's actually enjoyable, and because well, at least like the second half of it is enjoyable. The first half just drags. It really just really drags. It's so boring, and I get it. Like you had interesting characters in the second one. You could do that. You can spend some time with those characters. So, the movie we're going to be talking about next, the final chapter, you have some strong characters there. You can have some fun with it. This movie, all the characters are either bland to I want to blow my brains out bad. They're like, so there's no, it's either mediocre to terrible. And so if you have characters like that, you're not going to have a good first half where you're just kind of messing around with these characters and getting to know these characters, because none of them are interesting at all. So, but then when the second half, when, Richard Brooker starts coming out a little bit more, that's when the movie turns and it gets a little bit better. And it gets much more enjoyable, to me at least. Characters are still really fucking shitty, but it's more enjoyable, because, and that goes back to what I said in the positives about Richard Brooker. I think Richard Brooker really makes this movie. And the kills, some of them really, really are really terrible due to the 3D graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a few in here that are actually some of my favorites in the series. Like you have what's her name? Vieira, something like that.
Yeah.
She has that kill where Richard Brooker shoots that. I don't even know what it is. He shoots that. It looks like, harpoon. He shoots
harpoon. That when Ellen made it in Jaws 4, eh?
Yeah. But she has that harpoon in her eye. That I thought that was a pretty cool kill. Yeah, the stoner guy getting electrocuted by Richard Brooker. That was a cool kill. And in the third act, when Richard Brooker was literally chopping off that one of the guys in the motorcycle gang, that was cool. At least I thought. So you had a few standout kills here, but overall, a lot of them really just either fall flat or just get abolished from the 3D graphics. Yeah. So
the only one that I like is, well, no, I like Harpoon 1, but it just annoys me that is an obvious place to do 3D and they don't. But the only one that I find a particularly memorable Freddy kill is the we're on the handstand from hell.
I didn't even mention that. Yeah, the handstand was awesome. Jeez. So yeah, you do have a few really standout kills like that. You have the handstand, which I completely forgot to mention. You have the stoner guy getting electrocuted. So you have a few of these really cool kills. But overall, a lot of them just get abolished from the 3D graphics. And a lot of this movie gets abolished by the corny. It's so corny. It dates this movie big time. This is one of the most dated Friday the 13th in the whole franchise, if you were to ask me. Mm-hmm. Just because of those 3D graphics. And especially, and Ryan, you mentioned this, especially if you watch in 2D, those 3D graphics are awful. And to watch in 2D is just terrible. The flaws on the 3D graphics, they really come out when you're watching the 2D. Like, obviously, I wasn't born in 1982, not even close to born in 1982. So I didn't have the privilege of watching this in theaters in 3D. So somebody who may have watched this movie in 1982 with the 3D graphics, with the glasses, maybe that was cool. I don't know. And maybe that person will have
you can watch it. It's on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could watch it. Yeah, but
it's all pointless anyway.
It's pointless.
I mean, they're not. It's not in the service of anything. Has anybody ever said to himself watching somebody in a movie making popcorn, I wish that popcorn was flying out the screen?
Right.
That's why I think Steve Miner, honestly, and I don't know this for sure, but I know Steve from interviews because I'm a massive House franchise fan.
Yeah.
And I know from interviews that when he doesn't care about something, he kind of shows it.
Yeah.
And to me, this just strikes as Steve saying, well, if they want 3D, I'll give them the stupidest 3D they've ever seen in their life. Popcorn, yo-yos, tomatoes.
Yes. So it's just the 3D graphics, you guys nailed it. The 3D graphics suck. And it really just dates the hell out of this movie. So that's pretty much my overall review of this movie. So there's a few pretty cool kills. Richard Brooker definitely makes this movie. Characters are weak. 3D graphics suck. But overall, it does fall into that category as it's so bad that it's actually pretty enjoyable. And you are going to have a good time with this movie. Towards the back half, at least. At least for me. The characters still suck. Shelley, I fucking hate Shelley. Shelley can go fuck himself any day of the week. But overall, yeah, it's so bad that it's somewhat enjoyable. Few good kills. Richard Brooker makes this movie, but when the negatives hit, they fucking hit. They're there. So overall, just because Richard Brooker really doesn't make this movie, just because there are a few really iconic kills, I'm gonna go a little bit higher than a 4 rating. I'll probably give it like I want to say a 5. I'll give it a 5. For a Friday the 13th movie, I guess I'll give it a 5 as well. It's just kind of whatever.
Lower than me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gave it a 5.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a 5 overall, and for a Friday the 13th movie, I'll give it another 5. It's there. It's there. That's really all you can really say about this movie. Not really much else.
Honestly, though, if you took Shelley out of this, I would have so much less enjoyment watching this movie. I actually would be quite bored. Shelley perks me up because he's such a bizarre character and so badly acted that it just brings the movie up for me. And not in a so bad it's good way. As I say, I don't believe in that. I just think it becomes more enjoyable because of that. I don't think it's actually that enjoyable overall. I wouldn't actually sit down and watch this as a great bad movie and like well, now a Jaws 4 way, but like a Troll 2 or a Room, those kind of ones that everybody goes on about. Which actually I think The Room is that interesting to joke about, to be honest. It's been done to death.
Right.
But to me, actually, I'd kind of flip your opinions because I don't particularly care for Richard Brooker's Jason. But no, I think he's okay. He's a bit too WWF wrestler, just being dressed up as Jason to me with very over the top movements and whatnot. But I don't mind, again, Ryan's right, in the context of if we're saying we haven't seen the next ones, why is he so muscled up all of a sudden compared to the more, the Jason that you could theoretically have a fist fight with in the last one? This guy's so tanked he would just waste every single person in these other movies. But we know that Kane Hodder's coming on down the road and Jason will be larger than life and literally supernatural, so that's not too much of a problem. But, overnight he's had a hell of a workout, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I just think honestly, like, I kind of struggled making it through this whole movie the few times I watched it. I actually want to lower my rating to a 5 as a Friday movie too. I actually think the first half is better in the second half. I like the completely over the top stupid stuff more than the actual Jason scenes. I don't really care for the actual Jason scenes all that much in this one. I think that they're very bland and cookie cutter. Like, I think in part 2 it's actually scary at times. This one just makes me feel apathetic. It's like, oh well, that's decent. That's okay. There's never a moment where we're like, oh, like,
I get that.
I'm like, it's whatever.
I get it.
I think Richard's one of the worst Jasons, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, I think he's so boring, and I think because I'm not even like the biggest Kane Hodder fan. Like, I think he's good.
Me either.
I think he's fine.
He just did it more than anyone else. I think that's the reason everybody goes on him Kane Hodder.
Yeah. I think that part 2 and part 4 have the best Jasons.
Yes, next time we're getting a hell of a Jason.
Ted White is
next time we're getting a hell of a different dynamic for the first time, which is great. I'm looking forward to.
Oh, me too.
The Tommy era. I'm looking forward to revisiting that.
And I also have to say real quick too, I mean, the hockey mask doesn't add anything for me. I like the burlap sack more. So it's more about the quality of the Jason, and I don't think it's here for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It,
It's an
I
interesting movie.
the whole thing with the mask. I'm a mixed bag when it comes to the mask. Like sometimes I love it and sometimes it's kind of whatever. But I will have to say this. If that hockey mask didn't happen, if the burlap sack was the only Jason that we saw, and I did
Oh,
touch
yeah.
on this last video, but if the burlap sack Jason is what we know as Jason, I don't think it would have been Friday the 13th would have been as big as it is then if you know
Yeah, it does make an icon. Whether we like
does make
it
an
as an
iconic
artistic
character.
decision, it
I
makes
agree.
again, Ryan's wallet's the example, isn't it? That is something you can merchandise and market and etc. And it looks cool in an action figure and the like, and they'll turn it into almost more of a costume than just what a guy in the woods would have available to him, like he did in the last one. It will become much more defined as an over-the-top costume, and especially obviously Jason X, where it turns into a sci-fi outfit and things. But
Right.
it is. We're going in. This is really the last time we're not going to be going in any kind of different direction. Every movie after this does something to go a little bit left field, you know.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the series. It goes in so many weird directions.
It goes in so many directions. Yeah.
This one's in that weird little middle ground where it's like
the 3D is the direction, and they banked, like a lot of studios, they banked far too hard on 3D being a thing. Just like 2009, Avatar was the hit, and then everyone was like, 3D is going to be. How's that working out for them nowadays, folks? Remember all those 3D TVs that everybody bought? Oh boy, how many 3D TV shows do you get these days, eh?
Yeah. Okay. So overall, and both of you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we all three of us definitely had different inputs, but overall we kind of had the same idea as it's kind of there. It's kind of like it happens.
5, 6. It's not. We're not a million miles apart for different reasons in some cases, but we're not particularly. Ain't none of us going to fall out over our scores for this one. Right. Apart from your disgusting rant about curly-haired people, Tyler, it's offensive. I'd like an apology on behalf of Ryan and Art Garfunkel, a good friend of mine. I would like that just now, please. Continue with your apology, Tyler. Come on.
I'm waiting.
Come on.
I'm very sorry, Ryan. I love you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
What?
He didn't say it back though, because he doesn't really forgive you.
Oh my God.
I
love you.
We hate Tyler. We hate.
I love you too.
All right, so that's our overall review of Friday the 13th in 3D. Do you guys have anything else to add about this movie?
Yeah, does Ryan need to be on the next episode? Are you that bothered if it sits out? I'm happy if he misses the rest of the series. I'm done with him.
Wow. Well, shit. Okay. On that note, I think that this is
I love you, Tyler.
Love you too, Davy. Oh shit. Anyway, so I think this is a good spot to wrap things up. Friday the 13th, part 3. It's kind of there. The characters are whatever, and fuck Shelley. That's pretty much it. The characters are there. This is just a movie that's kind of there. If you are looking for a slasher that you're not going to take seriously, that just kind of you want to throw something on as like a hokey slasher, I think you can do much worse than Friday the 13th Part 3. So that's kind of where we're at. It's just kind of there. Let us know in the comments your thoughts about this movie. Were we too harsh on this movie? Do you love this movie? Are you with us? Do you hate this movie, or are you just kind of in the middle? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stupid shit. That's pretty much it. Davey, Ryan, both of you guys have channels. Anything you guys want to plug?
I did a video today on some recent releases from the wonderful folks at Indicator, including Hammer box set of Robin Hood movies and The Swimmer, the great Burt Lancaster Frank Perry movie from '68, and Madigan, the great Don Siegel cop thriller. So that launched today, but the most important one is those shark-infested waters of Zero the Hero, episode 1. It's a dangerous place to swim, folks, but I highly recommend heading over to the channel of my dear friend, who I love very much.
Love you too.
No, not Tyler. Ryan. Ryan and I have put a lot of work in, and it's paying off. We're having tremendous fun, even writing part 2 and stuff. So Ryan will tell you if he's got anything more. So.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. How about on your end, Ryan?
Well, like Davey said, Zero the Hero, Jaws the Revenge. Yeah, it was a great time making that one. There's some of my original music, a lot of cool clips from the movie, some good jokes from Davey and I. Davey's plot synopsis, which was pretty awesome. And we're doing One Missed Call for next month. And then also upcoming, I have a Star Wars video I'll be releasing in couple weeks, probably, maybe sooner than that, just as soon as I can get it done, because it's a big project, we'll say.
And it's
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Ryan's Final Destination. Check it out.
Yep. So yeah, there you go. David Cinema Flicks and Music Picks and Ryan's Final Destination. I will tag both of your accounts into the description below. So definitely check out Davey and Ryan's channels. All good shit, great content. Now, you are watching LP Tremors. So what's going on my end? Stay tuned for the next Friday the 13th episode. We're gonna be doing the 4th movie, the final chapter. And so that's gonna be in 2 weeks from now. We're shooting on Fridays, so it'll either be out for either Friday night or the Saturday morning. Either or, just depends how much editing or how much anything gets posted, whatever. So it's either coming out that Friday night or the next Saturday morning. So yeah, stay tuned for more Friday the 13th talk. What else? Feeling the Monday Blues. I have those on Mondays, so where I just picked 3 records out of my blues collection. So stay tuned for Feeling the Monday Blues. What the hell was that?
Fucking boy racers. Get out of my neighborhood.
Sound like
a biker gang.
It was a biker gang, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go out and take care of them after this.
Oh, I thought it was Jaws in the 4th movie.
Zero the Hero, folks.
Shit. But anyway, yeah, Feeling Monday Blues. I have those on Mondays. Other than that, I'm not too. Literally right after I hit stop recording, Davey and John Clauser of My Music Corner, we're going to be collaborating again on LP Tremors, where we are going to be talking about 5 blues records. So pretty much the 3 of us are going to be picking 5 blues records that we would give to somebody who's never heard blues or wants to get into blues. So it's kind of like a beginner's guide to blues, basically. So yeah, we're going to be recording that right after I hit stop recording. That will probably be out either tomorrow or this Friday night. What else? Megadeth, yes. So I do have a review out for the new Megadeth album. Me and John Clauser, actually. So I have John on this channel as well for the Megadeth video. They just released their 16th studio record, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Me and John collaborated and did a full review of that one record. And so definitely check out our thoughts. If you are a Megadeth fan, or maybe if you want to be a Megadeth fan, definitely go and give that one a shot. I just posted that literally the other night, so feel free to check that out. Also, in the speaking of new releases, Ozzy, he just came out with a new album today. I will be doing a full review on that. That will probably be coming out sometime this week. So stay tuned if you want to hear my thoughts about Patient Number 9 from Ozzy. Other than that, stay tuned. Stay tuned to LP Tremors. Hit that bell or whatever. A lot of my shit spur of the moment. So, I just kind of want to. If I randomly want to talk about something, I'll just randomly talk about it one day. So, a lot of my shit is spur of the moment. So that's pretty much all I got. So, Feeling the Monday Blues. You have the Friday the 13th series. We're doing another blues collaboration with Davy and John. That's pretty much it on my end. Any last remarks? Anything else you want to add about 3?
Well, no, just I was literally tweeting Dave Mustaine there saying that you hate curly-haired people. And I'm just awaiting his response to see. I don't know if it was just a perm that he had going or if he has some natural curl, but we'll see what Dave says. Okay, we'll see what Dave says.
Oh shit, he's gonna be turning all his anger he had for James Hetfield to me now. Great.
Kick your dog.
Holy shit.
Muffy.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to add about part 3, or are you guys good?
No, we're definitely done with part 3, my friend.
All right.
I never want to think about it again.
Holy shit! You
I'm
heard it
kidding.
there, folks.
If you're still alive, you should be ashamed of yourself. No.
I'm kidding.
Wow,
I'll probably
holy
watch
shit.
it many more times.
Yeah.
But
And
We'll
if-
see. We'll
I
see.
didn't even bother looking if Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel like this because
Yeah.
it didn't. So
Oh, and one other thing. It does have a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
I
it's
can believe it.
real close to our territory. We need to just off a couple Rotten Tomatoes our reviewers. It's going to be 0 to hero
I
territory.
think
you go.
we will need to launch a series of nearly gotems, ones that are so close to the 0 where we can, the spin-off, where we
7 Heaven.
drag them down. This one does deserve 0 and it doesn't have it for some reason.
Holy shit. All right, guys. So yeah, that's our overview. Around 4 to 5 out of 10s. That's basically it. And again, fuck Shelley.
Yeah, fuck Richard Brooker,
Hey,
Yeah.
Easy now.
but I love my boys.
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah. Love you guys. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th part 4, the final chapter. That's it. Stay metal. Stay scared. Bye, guys.